let's jump into the SAP Business ByDesign system demo. We have prepared for you two roles that we're going to look into today. All right. The system is big. Okay. And we have many, as I mentioned before, this is a role-based system. So your accountant will have a specific role in the company, and we have a specific role-driven access to the system where accounting related topics, modules, components are going to be available to you. For your user. If the user was a purchasing manager, he will see purchasing management related information as well, and so on and so forth. For today's presentation, we're going to be presenting two major roles. The first one is going to be for the CFO and a day in the life of the CFO, and we're going to look into how we're going to go through the system to solve some of the issues that we might currently be experiencing. And we're also going to talk about a project manager's day as well, so that you're able to see it from a different access perspective, how the system will help that particular role. So talking about the CFO, we got a few pain points in my organization. So let me just jump into the role of the CFO. I'm the CFO right now. I don't have a single integrated system to manage my business. I have a corporate umbrella where I'm experiencing issues where I got these different companies that they're overstepping on each other. I don't have the roles defined. There's no clean intercompany transactions between them. I cannot get reports done because it's very difficult. My closing of my month is it gets long and complicated because I don't have those controls in place, and I cannot fully get the grasp of how my business is doing in overall because I just can't see it at the moment. Okay, so for the story, we got all these points on the right side, which I'm going to walk you through on the system. Okay. All right, so let's go into the system as you are looking right now on the screen. This is SAP Business ByDesign. This is the place where you're going to log in. You can access it through any browser. And it is very important to note as well that this can be also accessed through mobile apps that are free for you to download on either the Apple Store or the Play Store for Android devices. And all the users are able to access through mobile as well. Okay, so right now I'm just going to log in into my financial roles user. This will be my CFO. And me as a CFO, I jump into the system and I see my launchpad, and I'm able to see a quick summary of different areas that I might be interested with, different shortcuts that I can access. So for example, I can see profitability, some key performance indicators in here for gross profit and so on and so forth. Liquidity, I can see what are my overdue receivables as well. If I want to see in more detail what these are, I can drill down into them and it will tell me what these are. I can analyze them further. I can change views as well. If I just don't want to see only the top 5 customers, if I want to see more, I can do that and interact with this even further. Let's close this for now. And let me go into my work center. Here is where I'm going to have the modules that are basically tailored for me, okay, for my CFO role. Again, this can be depending on the access that the user might have. This can be configured so that they can only see or access what they need to see. Okay, so this is what we call my work center. But right now, I just want to show you real quick as well a capability that's very fundamental in the system, that it's called the basically the enterprise search, where I am able to enter any type of string over here and allow me to search across my whole system. And in this case, I was just looking for Max, and it brought me this information over here, all these results, which I can drill down further if I want to by clicking on the link. And I can analyze this further and see that supplier information as I need to. See the different orders or spend that I've done, different purchasing information as needed, as well as any necessary financials that are associated to that particular business partner, in this case, supplier. Okay, so this is a very powerful tool that allows me to search for almost anything across the database. All right, going back to the work center, I have different things here that are already available to me. And for example, I can configure an executive summary so that it shows specific information that I want to see at the beginning of my day. In this case, I just have like a profit overview that I have it tailored just for my role. But I can also go even deeper and go more into an insight of my business and be able to see with additional reporting tools for key performance indicators, dashboards, and whatnot. I can see different information over the receivables, the operating gross profit, and again, interact similar to what you saw a few minutes ago. Just click on it, drill down into that particular report, and get additional data related to that key performance indicator. Okay. All right. So one thing that I want to know or make sure is that my organizational structure for my company, my group of companies, is well done and it's on point, and the new acquisitions that are coming through are also assigned to the proper role, because I don't want them overstepping on each other. I don't want a company that I didn't configure to do the purchasing to go out of their way and do the purchasing by themselves. So what we do is that I, as a CFO, for example, I have the capability of viewing my organizational structure. This is basically my holding company that holds all these other companies that are underneath it. But I can, as you will see in a second, this is a more of a complex scenario that has companies under companies under companies, in which it has subsidiaries even that function on specific roles. So for example, if I select this manufacturing company and I get the general information, addresses if it has any, but the most important thing that I want to show you is that I can assign to that particular company the functions that they're going to be developing. If they're only on the manufacturing side, I give them manufacturing access. If they're going to be on the finance side, I just give them financial access, and so on. If they're more on the sales and purchasing, I give them that particular access. So I know exactly what role they're going to be playing on the whole process. What are the intercompany transactions that they need to do? If they need to do a requirement for purchasing for the head office, they can do that. And also, and most importantly, assign the specific employees that are going to be accessing that particular company and give them that particular role within that company. Okay, so here's where I manage all that. And again, this is a more complicated scenario where I have a lot of companies and sub-companies, subsidiaries, and so on. But it can be basically tailored to your need and to your current company structure. So keep and be scalable as you add more companies or grow into more business lines. All right, so I was able to see the organizational structure. I was able to see how they were set up. I'm good with that. Now I want to go into my general ledger real quick over here. And basically, I want to just see in a high level my accounts to see what their balances are, which I can also drill down if I wanted to, as needed. I'm also able to audit any information, either previous journal entries, for example. Let me just run them for all my different postings, and I'll just access, for the sake of reviewing this particular entry, I'm able to access this entry in more detail. And in here, I'm able to see that there are more also books related, because I can manage multiple books within SAP Business ByDesign and have them post on those multiple books at the same time when a transaction is happening. I can see the details of the flow, who created it, and also what's the debit and credit transaction ultimately for that entry. I can see the document flow of where this entry was created, which was automatically created by a payment. And I can drill down into that particular payment by just clicking on my link. Okay. And I can also view the different changes to do any audits to see if anybody changed anything for my document. All right, let's close this over here. And let's go back to audit. So now I can audit all the entries that every person has created if I wanted to. And more importantly, my team members as well, so that I can analyze the ones that are automatically created by the system. As you saw, the entry was created by payment, but also the ones that are manually created by the users for adjustment purposes, for accruals, and so on. Now, another issue that I was having was the closing. I wasn't able to close my month, and I was having issues for my monthly closings, for my yearly closings, and so on. So I'm just going to go to the closing cockpit that comes available already in the system, and I'm able to see by books, by company. I'm able to see the different tasks and where exactly I am, what I have started, what's in process, what's not ready, and so on. And I am able to either make sure that this happens, understand what the problem is, and be able to solve or assist as needed. So now I have that visibility and that control that I'm looking for. Okay. An additional thing that I was having an issue, as you remember on the previous one, was basically clarity of my company. But there's an important part that's called the liquidity. And for example, I want to understand my cash positions. By just accessing the liquidity management, I'm able to see by my different accounts what my positions are within each one of them. And I am able to also see a forecast based on my different bank accounts and the different transactions or payments that I have to do, or any other cash flow relevant transaction that I have set, so that I'm able to see over a period of time what that forecast is going to look like and how my company is going to behave. And lastly, I'm going to just run a couple of reports over here. Let me just go to my report list. And I am going to run a trial balance real quick, where I can see my trial balance. I can drill down into a specific account if I want to. I can see this in a graphical way if I need to. I can see in a graphical and tabular way, and at the same time, almost every report within the system allows me to either send it as an email, as a link to a web browser so that the users can see it, or as an Excel file format so that they're able to open it in Excel. I can download it into my own machine by any of the formats that you're looking at, Excel, CSV, and so on. Or I can even just export this to Excel so that I can prepare my own report and be able to analyze it even further as needed with the rest of management. So this is a functionality that already comes available and embedded to you for ByDesign and every report that we're looking at. Okay, so we looked at on the life of a CFO. It was very short. There's more to show, but it was just some highlights on how to see your business, how to see the different areas of your company, and be able to make data-driven decisions as needed as you go through.